Hello and welcome back to Starfox Adventures, Part 30. In this episode, we have successfully landed from our very short excursion out to the walled city, and in this part, we will be beginning our trek to the Volcano Force Point Temple to deposit the fire spell stone that we picked up while we were there.
The fire spell stone that is top center on your screen.
Yes. I took a small break in between the trip to in between the session that I did Walled City and this session, and this is actually the last session. I do all of the remaining story parts in this recording session.
Nice. And Fox is about to do it on one breath. And Fox is about to do it on two breaths.
Damn it, don't spawn me next to the poison sporing mushroom.
Evil sporing mushrooms.
Evil.
They're so hideous.
So what has Cloud been up to while we're doing more backtracking?
Oh, well, I just wanted to... depending on the timing that this episode will be uploaded on, I want everybody to know that I am almost finished my Bloodborne run for the channel. Yay! I'm currently stuck trying to get ritual materials that will allow me to eventually unlock a secret boss in the game.
Okay.
It is a unique enemy, and the only way you could see it is if you do the Chalice dungeons.
Okay.
And anybody who's played Bloodborne would know that the Chalice dungeons are lengthy.
Okay.
That's about it. We will see.
Right, so we will sprint through the Moon Mountain Pass.
Evil bouncing barrels. Here they come.
Yes, evil bouncing barrels.
No.
But we're already halfway through the mountain pass. Ouch.
Oh, you bouncing bastards. Away.
And there. Now, I do believe that while we're here, we're going to attempt to get a couple more moon seeds, because there are two particular areas that we need to plant moon seeds on. I was hoping he would actually do his projectile attack, but he did not.
I was hoping that the super ground quake was just going to kill him.
Unfortunately, no. The super ground quake just, although it is significantly more powerful than the ground quake, it doesn't actually do additional damage to these guys, because these guys only have one spot where you're allowed to damage them.
Right, it just increases the threshold you need in order to actually inflict damage on some enemies.
Now, what I'm not entirely sure about is if you can actually one-shot those enemies. I assume that you can, but I really don't know how.
What, like one-shot the ground quakeable enemies?
Yeah.
Well, you one-shotted the red eye.
Yes, but that's the thing, you know. The red eye dies in one shot to the super ground quake because he's scripted to do so. What about the moonseed bearers?
Well, we just demonstrated the moonseed bearers still need a shot in the back in order to die.
Yeah, but they need 2 shots in the back.
It's because the ground quake is not actually the thing that inflicts damage. It just it lowers his defense.
Yes, it stuns him.
Yes.
But I'm wondering if there's actually a way to actually one-shot them, like using a particular staff attack or maybe a staff spell.
I think that I would have to agree that a player probably by now has found a way to do that. And I'm sure it's really dumb to watch. Like all you're
both the fuel cells.
Like all you're doing is spinning around in circles and going to your start menu while holding right click. And there isn't even a click button on the GameCube controller.
There is a right button though.
Right trigger. That's right, Tricky. We're in the bad guys' place.
Fire bats are bad guys.
Look at all those dudes. They're flying and on fire. They're bad guys.
They do not have well-established 401ks.
You guys lack a pension. Your retirement is futile. Futile, I say. You're dead. You, sir. You, sir, are most certainly screwed.
There. It's a shame that Ice Blast really makes the majority of combat in the game trivial, because, to be perfectly honest, you know, the combat is honestly one of the things that I feel the game actually does right.
I'm actually kind of surprised you bring up how overpowered it is when you actually depleted your magic meter doing that.
Yes, I depleted my magic meter, but you know, there's another group of bad guys coming up, and with just 2 magic gems, I was able to get enough magic meter to, you know, deal with this. So.
Well, the point stands is that, yes, this is a powerful attack. It probably is the most powerful attack in the game because it creates a one-shot kill opportunity that also stuns enemies, hence it basically precludes damage to you. However, it still comes at a cost.
It does come at a cost, but it's a negligible cost, given the fact that magic gems respawn relatively quickly.
They respawn?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
I mean, the grounded gems themselves don't, but the plants that have the gems growing on them, yeah, those respawn. And as I just showed off, if you do the Ice Blast combo on enemies, they have a relatively good chance to drop green magic gems, which recoups some of the cost.
That is true. I guess they just really want you to use magic.
And then you have the bats here, which literally die to a single spray of ice.
Because now that I think about it, Star Fox from the very beginning has always been a game about projectile attacks.
Yeah.
So makes sense that they want, because you can't use your blaster, you can't use your R-wing laser doohickey, so you gotta settle for your little pop gun. It's a very powerful little pop gun. Moving platforms in the lava.
Yeah, I did this on purpose because I'm trying to show off. I'm trying to show off the cheat token well that's in this area, but unfortunately, I think I'm in the wrong spot to show it off here. Now that, or I actually do need to do the yay fuel cell.
Leprechauns. That's what I realized the cheat token might be referring to, is leprechauns.
How so?
Because in well, maybe I'm just putting together associations that don't actually exist. Have you ever seen the movie called Leprechaun?
I have seen bits and pieces of Leprechaun. I've not actually seen the whole thing because it's a B-grade horror film.
It is.
I'm not into horror. I'm not into horror in general. So
it is a B-grade horror movie, and I'm very glad that you didn't see it. But at the very end, so I'm going to spoil it. At the very end, they figure out, oh, in order to finally banish the homicidal leprechaun, you have to return it to the well from whence it came, and also firing a slingshot with silver in it or some shit. So I think that
is weird.
I think that the cheat token creature is a leprechaun because it demands cheat tokens.
Possible, but unlikely, given the fact that would actually insinuate more humanoid creatures here than we have otherwise seen. I mean, the most humanoid creatures that we have seen in here have honestly been the Sharpclaw tribe, and even they are more reptilian than humanoid.
Yeah, and the shopkeep is almost a Naga.
Yeah. He's just a floating Naga.
God, look at how blue everything is. Reminds me very much of the orange that we were seeing earlier.
And alright, here is our first new puzzle for our revisit.
Oh boy.
You have to extinguish these flames in a very specific order. I have long since forgotten what that order is, but it looks like it's 2-1-4-3, is it? You have to re-extinguish
the flames?
Yes, if you get it wrong, you have to re-extinguish them.
Okay, now there are 4 colors. There's red, yellow, blue, and green.
Ah, all right. It's 2, 1, 3, 4. Okay.
Well, there is a legend that tells you like what the answer is, right?
I believe so. I honestly think that the torches leading into the next room are the answer key, but you know, it's you don't really need it. It's assuming that you know your Nintendo logic. You should always know that number 1 is the full start. Number 2 is usually a safe start, and number 1 is usually followed up by that.
Right, and of course by the power of trial and error, with a clear, when the game very clearly gives you feedback on when you failed, then eventually you'll get it right.
Yeah. And see, there are torches here, so you know, it is quite likely that. Oh, combat segment.
Combat, random, fight, freeze,
Dead.
die,
And dead. There.
Distance.
Combat segment is over.
Combat has ended. Push the big red button.
Alright, Tricky.
Well done. Well done, Tricky.
One thing that I've not actually shown off that much is that Tricky's fire breath can actually be used in combat. It does a sizable chunk of damage for half of a grub tub. And why I don't use it is because I don't need to. I have Ice Blast.
We have lots of answers in this game. You can use the ground quake, you can use your staff fire, your freeze ability, you can swing your stick around and until the dog starts barking.
I feel as though the fire blast is honestly one of the worst answers that we've got.
Right, and the game has been keen to train you that the fire blast is usually a puzzle solving tool. For example.
Yeah. No, we're not close enough, dude.
What is this room? I think this is one of the main puzzles in the Forest Temple, is you have to stand at the center and then fire your arrow through at the correct timing.
This is one of the main temples, one of the main puzzles in Woodfall. I remember that. I don't actually mind Woodfall, believe it or not. It's just that, you know, I had to go through it 1.5 times.
1. Oh fuck. All right, no, we got it this time. Okay, no, gotta wait another cycle. Here it comes.
Nope.
Nope, that was blue. Okay, here it comes.
Way too low.
Aim far, higher. Cursor. Third-person shooter.
And this is why I say that the fire blast mechanic fucking blows, because you get thrown into puzzles like this specifically twice at this point in the game, and they're not fun. Okay, they aren't. They function, yes, but that doesn't mean that they are fun. And I'd much rather have them be fun than functional.
Yeah.
Actually, wait.
Awesome per second is going down.
You see, the joke there, Cloud, is if they're not functional, then I can't actually complete the game.
Well, I mean, awesome per second, as I was saying, is a metric we use to determine that as long as the game is on, and as long as the person is playing the game, the assumption is they're having a good time.
Right.
Because if awesome per second goes...
Oh, by the way, you can't backtrack through the other way.
Oh, of course. Wait, is that the other way?
Yeah, that's the other way. That's the other way. And they won't let that is a backtrack.
You know what? I think I'm cool. I think I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Is go through there, and then you'd end up at a wall that doesn't open.
And then you wonder, why? Why did they even let me get this far?
Yeah. But with that, we have successfully completed the Volcano Force Point Temple.
We're now at the center of the planet, where we are 75% the way through with our process.
Wait for me.
You're right here!
I know, this is so exciting!
The red flame has already been extinguished before we put in the stone.
You Just need one more. You'll come back here when you get it.
And in the next part, we will go back to Thorntail Hollow.